Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to EliteHealthOnline.com. Thank you for being with us today. Just a quick disclaimer, this information in today's podcast is meant to be used for informational purposes only and educational purposes, not meant to diagnose or treat any conditions. Make sure you jump online, book an appointment with us, and let our providers help you with all your weight loss, health and wellness, hormone replacement solutions. Today, we have two guests with us, both from Drug Crafters Pharmacy in Frisco, Texas. First, we have Natalie, Vice President of Marketing from Drug Crafters, and Vice President of Sales and Marketing. I don't want to leave out the sales component. So, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Excellent. And Erin, the Chief Pharmacist at Drug Crafters. Thanks for being with us.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Awesome. So, again, today we're going to talk about weight loss. We have some very specific podcasts I would encourage folks to check out around the weight loss area. But today we're kind of talking in this podcast about general weight loss products and solutions. And Natalie, I know as Vice President of Marketing and Sales at Drug Crafters, you've worked really hard to make sure you're creating unique solutions that fit all different types of needs. So, if you would talk to us a little bit about how you've worked with us at Elite to come up with different products and solutions that would appeal to different folks.
Yeah, so we've been working with your clinic for several years now. We obviously know the types of patients that you guys are treating. We realize people are on different paths to weight loss. So it's not a one size fits all model. We know that we have to hone in and tailor our products to best suit your patients. So we have everything from lipotropics to anorectics, which are appetite suppressants, to peptides that really focus on helping patients achieve their goals, whether they want to lose 5 pounds or whether they want to lose 500 pounds.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's great. So let's start there. I think that's a great place. We really have, and I've said it before, we really get two different sets of patients coming to us, right? We get what I would consider like the ex-athlete, right? They're into the wellness and anti-aging. They're already in phenomenal shape. The average person would say, why are you worried about weight loss, right? But they're 18% body fat and they want to have, abs and look good at the beach, right? And then we have the very opposite of that, which is someone who does need to lose some weight for the purposes of needs and just general health and wellness, right? And they're not worried about, the outward appearance so much. They just want to be healthy and not be overweight. Look, there's different products for each of these categories, right? If you would kind of break that, let's first start with kind of the person that's already in great shape and looking to lose, another 5 to 7% body fat, be leaner. Talk about those products first, and then we'll focus on the more focus kind of what we'd call weight loss type products.
Erin, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so the one that we typically see for the patients that have, just a tiny bit of weight to lose or just want to be in better shape and basically just take their body to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
That what we can typically use for those. Lipotropic is always a great place to start. Even though a lot of those patients do eat a well-balanced diet, excuse me, a well-balanced diet, a lot of them are missing things in their diet. With a lipotropic, your body basically will help produce its own natural energy, along with boosting its energy. It has several B vitamins in it. It also has amino acids, L-carnitine, things that definitely can be missing within their diets. That's usually a first great place to start. After that,
Well, Aaron, just real quick, not to cut you off, but that lipotropic, that's more like maximizing the body's metabolism, ensuring that you're processing the food and that your metabolism is as fast and efficient as it can be, correct?
Right, of course. Some of the lipotropic ingredients help metabolize your glucose, your sugar, carbohydrates, things of that nature. And a lot of times, it's not that your body doesn't metabolize it, it just doesn't metabolize it to the greatest potential that it could metabolize it.
Right.
And that definitely helps with that process. And then adding the energy components also help with your body's metabolism also.
Okay. Where would phetermine fit into this? I know um, lots of patients that are maybe not what I would consider overweight utilize phetermine to maintain that weight, right? That's really where a lot of our patients are. When they say weight loss solutions, they're not trying to lose 40 pounds.
Right.
They're trying to maintain the healthy weight that they have, control their eating. Where does the phetermine products fit into that role?
Sure. So phentermine is what we call an appetite suppressant, or uh, basically, it it changes, not necessarily changes, but it affects your brain and the chemicals within your brain that kind of turn off that hunger in a sense.
Okay.
So whenever you turn off that hunger, then you eat less, and then
Right.
when you eat less, that helps with your caloric intake, which then help with um, maintaining the weight that you're currently at. The the bad thing with phentermine, and a lot of patients have experienced this, is it can cause the cardiovascular issues with hypertension, with increasing heart rates, things of that nature. At Jar Crafters, what we've done is we have broken the phentermine into a couple different areas. We can make it into, or compound it into, a lollipop, or we can also compound it into a troche. And what this does is it helps the patient take the medication when they need to. So say I don't need the medication at 9 a.m. I need it
Mhm.
right before lunchtime because that's when I am the most hungry.
Yeah.
They can use a lollipop or the troche at even a smaller dosage, just to kind of help get through that rough patch that they know that they struggle with. Is if 11 a.m. snack time is is where you struggle, taking it at 10:30 can really help curb your appetite for, not eating and eating and having the bad habits that some of these patients might have,
Yeah.
just around periods of time when they do struggle the most.
That's really interesting. So, phentermine necessarily doesn't have to be a product that, to get the effectiveness from it, take it 7 days a week for 90 days. You literally could skip it on the weekends and right back on Monday and be just as effective. Or
Exactly.
maybe you only take it because you're busy working throughout the week and you overeat on the weekends. You could take it Thursday through Sunday to just make sure you don't overeat on the weekends. I've not thought of it in that way before, but it's also back to that theory of what I'm sure as a pharmacist, and Natalie, you as being in the industry from the sales side, minimal effective dose is what we want, right? We don't need to
Exactly.
take something when we don't have to. If we could take it, and but some products you do need to have in your system built up, like hormones. You don't want that to go. But phentermine doesn't sound like it falls into that category.
Yeah, and peptides is a great example. Peptides, you really start to see the effects of them after, months of being on them, weeks
Right.
and months. Phentermine is an immediate, it's going to curb your appetite. The reason why we love the lollipops and the troches are because it does decrease that cardiovascular effect that most patients complain about when they are on phentermine. So it gives the patient more control over how they want to utilize it. So
Well, how about sleep though? Because one of the things that probably the only complaint we ever hear with the phentermine products is a little bit of dry mouth, which is manageable, right? Um, but really, it's just people saying I don't get off to sleep as early as or as fast as I need to. I lay awake maybe a little more. Does
Sure, of
this seem
course.
to curb that a little bit?
It does curve it a little bit. You you can't take it at 7 o'clock and expect
Right.
it to be out of your system by the time you do need to go to bed. I don't typically recommend patients taking it after 2 or 3 p.m., and every patient is different.
Mm,
So I mean, me, I can't take it after 2 or 3 p.m. Some
yeah.
patients can take it
very
at 6
special.
and not
Yeah.
have a problem with it. So it just honestly depends from patient to patient. But I typically don't recommend them taking it after 2 or 3 p.m. just so it doesn't
Yeah.
affect the cycle.
One of the things I've told people, and because I've experienced this, is intermittent fasting is huge. It's everyone knows about it now, and it works. I mean, I don't know anyone who's tried intermittent fasting who has not said it changed their ability to either maintain weight or lose weight. Phetamine, to me, makes intermittent fasting go from miserable, painful, you're hangry, you're gonna chew someone's head off, to I can actually get to that first meal, and then when I have that first meal, I don't overeat. When you're intermittent fasting and you don't have phetamine on board, it you almost overeat at the next meal and negate anything you did. So
Yeah.
that's a great point. Thanks for making that.
And our lollipops and our troches are also combined with chromium, which can also help with, insulin release, and then also, your chemicals in your brain like norepinephrine and that sort of thing, which can then, help with that, curbing that appetite and with that suppression.
Right. Anything else on the kind of minor weight loss, maintaining body composition type products that you had mentioned before we kind of switch over to the more, 30, 40 pound type weight loss situation? Not that
Um,
peppermint can't be used for that, but
no, I mean we also do promote naltrexone.
yeah,
Low dose naltrexone can also help with this type of patient, and I think it depends on honestly what they struggle with. If they do struggle with that euphoricness of eating, then I mean sometimes that can be your patient that's 10%
yeah,
body fat. It honestly truly depends on what they struggle with.
yeah,
If it is something that is that can be more controlled, by your brain stimulation, then naltrexone, low dose naltrexone may be beneficial, along with the many other uses that it can be
yeah.
used.
I've tried the low dose naltrexone, and I tell people if they tell me they don't have craving issues in the evening, then and it's more of a hunger, well, then
Uh-huh.
we steer more towards phetamine. If
Yeah.
it's I don't overeat throughout the day, but in the evening my cravings for the chips or the
Cereal.
popcorn is there. I tried the naltrexone myself, and it was the desire for even just a single. I thought it was interesting, even just a drink. I didn't want the Tito's and Topo water, right? And so
Right.
I noticed a slight change in that habit, or I didn't feel like I needed to grab just one small handful full of cashews like I'll do, and that's
Right.
Right.
huge,
Yeah.
So it does work. It does work. So, what about on the flip side? Let's say someone has a significant amount of weight to lose. What are the current products? And we have a lot of these on our site, but what are you guys seeing? What are you compounding now? What are you putting out that's for pretty dramatic weight loss for health issue for the person who needs to lose it for health reasons?
Well, I think the biggest thing that we have out there, and I'll let Aaron talk more about this, are just peptides in general.
Hmm.
Semaglutide is our newest peptide that is the generic, or not generic, but it's the exact same molecule as Ozempic and Wegovy, which have
Hmm.
been used for years for weight loss. And being able to offer it at an affordable cost to patients is huge.
Yeah.
So, or offer it to at an affordable price to clinics too.
Right.
So it's a game changer for us. But Aaron, I know you can go into more about all the other peptides, but
Yeah, sure. So I think with anyone that has a dramatic amount of weight to lose, um, obviously we want to start simple. So
Mhm.
balanced diet, regular exercise goes a long way.
Yeah.
That can only get patients so far, especially if, whenever you're trying to lose weight and it's taking some time for that weight to come off, a lot of patients get very discouraged, whether they think they're not doing it right or they think they can't do it in general. Patients get very discouraged. What we do here at Drug Crafters and also Elite Health Online is, help patients get to losing that weight with some add-ons that just help with their journey.
Right.
Natalie mentioned one, semaglutide. Patients have been seen to lose 6 to 12% of their body weight, which is incredible.
Yeah.
And adding peptides, Somorelin, for example, that helps increase lean body muscle mass. It can then, decrease fat storage. that is also, helpful for patients. And with these patients, it's not just diet and exercise. Yeah, that can do it by itself, but this just helps speed that process up. And I think it helps them with their weight loss, with their weight loss journey be even more successful.
Right.
Um, so back to, sorry, semaglutide. That particular medication, it is a peptide. It is just a once a week injection, which is phenomenal. Whenever you look at Semorelin, Semorelin has lots of other benefits besides
Mhm.
helping loss. That typically is a once a day injection. Both of those are subcutaneous, which is a very simple injection that you just do in your body fats. And then you also can look at like we discussed earlier, the lipotropics. Typically, patients that have a large amount of weight to lose, they don't eat a balanced diet.
Right.
Can do a lipotropic. Sometimes with those patients, it's not as helpful to do it just once a week. Maybe we need to do it once or twice a week for the lipotropics, and that will help get those amino acids that they're missing, and their B vitamins that they're missing, and just help
Right.
with metabolizing metabolizing sugar and carbohydrates, glucose, that sort
Right.
of thing.
What
um,
about if you don't mind, real quick? What about HCG? So that's a really popular product right now. I know forever it was, it's not compounded, so the price went up a little bit to buy the commercial, but HCG is used as a weight loss solution. Can you touch base on the importance of that, or what role it plays, and kind of where you put it in the grand scheme of weight loss? I know semaglutide might be here and HCG here, but where would you put it in the ranking, kind of?
Sure. I think with HCG, there are lots of. It depends on where you fall with HCG. HCG has been around for a very long time,
Hmm.
and I think the hardest struggle with HCG is the diet plan. Um, it is not easy. If you prepare, you can do it, and a lot of patients have great success with it. But it is very, very hard.
Does it not work just to intermittent fast? I mean, generally, kind of what I've told people over time is when you intermittent fast, the macro counting, the all of that gets real simple, because if you're only eating for a 4 to 6 hour window per day, unless you're just sitting at an all-you-can-eat buffet for 4 hours, it's going to be really hard to take in, overeat.
Sure.
Does that not work well with HCG, or would that be an effective plan?
No, and I think that's a lot of times what we recommend to our patients, is because I think they get so focused on that total caloric content that I think by the end of the day, you're stressed about where you ended up, versus if you can intermittent fast, I think that helps tremendously.
Yeah,
Um,
that's huge, because it's just top of mind. If you're counting macros and calories, you're thinking about food all day long, calculating it, and how much can I eat at my next meal, versus that's temporary versus long term. I think that's good sound advice for sure.
right.
Awesome. Natalie, what are you experiencing? I know as the vice president of sales and marketing, you're out talking to other clinics, and one of the things I'm always challenging you with is to make sure you're bringing me the newest solutions for our patients. What's kind of hot out there right now in the clinics that you talk to?
I would say, and just how we've worked together over the past several years, is really working with providers and their patient needs, and how we can best support them on their journey to weight loss, whether it's hormone imbalance, whether it's, they really need to lose some weight, whether it's they're not sleeping well at night. What solutions can we tailor and
Yeah.
customize to assist them?
Yep.
I love the fact that we have 8 full-time pharmacists on staff here to help answer those questions as well. So,
Right.
if they have any doubt about, which medications can be used in conjunction, which ones would be best for a patient who has a prior existing condition, we're able to really treat that patient to the best of our ability. And as for like hot products, we're always coming out with new solutions. I mean, that's really what we're focused on right now. And whether it's putting together a weight loss system, you know, coming out with new
A new skincare peptide program.
Yep. Well, that's one thing we enjoy. I mean, at Elite Health Online, we want to stay ahead of the curve. One thing that patients that join our clinic can be reassured is that we're going to be out there. We're going to know what's out there. And it's not a simple solution, right? It's not a one size fits all. But you get limited consultations with our providers so we can figure it out. You know, 9 out of 10 patients, we're going to come up with a therapy for designed for that person and it's going to work. Every now and then, though, there's a complicated case and we've got to try another product. You know, you mentioned a while ago, you mentioned Samorlin. And we have patients that will swear by Samorlin, but on paper and everything you look at, CJC 1295 should be a superior product. And Samorlin will cause hunger. And for someone wanting to lose weight, if they're ready to eat the refrigerator every evening because the Samorlin is causing hunger, that's not a great solution for that person. But out of, 1 out of 10 patients will just say, oh my God, I respond so much better to Samorlin. And so there is a little bit of trial and error. And that's where, the partnership we have allows us to continue to work with you guys and talk to the pharmacist and make sure we find a solution that's going to fit for that person.
Every patient is different. I mean, just like we're discussing, I mean, one thing could work great for patient A, but then patient B needs something completely different. And that's why we work well together and, come up with solutions for particular patients specifically to meet their needs.
Great. Guys, thanks for being with us today. I really appreciate it. It's been very informative to our clients and potential clients. Folks, if you're on that weight loss journey, fitness journey, hit us up at elitehealthonline.com. We will tailor the solution for you and figure it out. That's one thing that we do. We're not a one size fits all. So we'll figure it out with our partners and we'll get there. So thanks for joining. Again, check us out at Elite Health Online. And Natalie and Aaron, thank you again.
Thank you.